Hey there everyone, my name is Jenna. Welcome back to the channel. In today's video, we are going to do something really fun and go tour some gardens. And this is actually an event that's put on by the Phoenix Home and Garden magazine. It happens once a year and it's a self-guided tour where you get to walk through several luxury gardens and just admire all of the landscape design and the plants and gather inspiration. So I highly recommend this event if you are in the Phoenix area. They also have one in the fall where you get to tour the home's interiors, so that could be really fun as well. But today we're going to walk through some of my favorite gardens. I'm going to point out some things that I drew inspiration from, and then we'll come back home and we'll do a little garden project with something inspired by what we saw on the tour. So I hope you all enjoy it, and without further ado, let's go outside and enjoy the beauty of these gardens.
Okay, so here we are at our first garden of the self-guided tour, and this one was called Mediterranean Magic, and I loved how they incorporated a lot of potted shrubs and trees along entrance points just to soften the space. And I also loved the combination of the greenery and then the florals planted beneath it for a more elevated feel. And something else that I loved was the repetition of all of these shrubs. This is Texas sage, and we're actually planning to put some of this in our yard because it does really well here in the Phoenix heat, and you get these beautiful purple flowers on the rustic looking branches. And of course they also have dwarf olive bushes for a nod to that Mediterranean aesthetic. And something else that I noticed pretty quickly here was the repetition of those potted trees with some gorgeous florals planted underneath. Again, here in this entrance to the front courtyard area, we have another pair of potted olive topiaries with some Vincas to frame the entryway for some drama. And I loved the private and peaceful feel of this entryway. I was immediately drawn to the design of the wall fountain. I just loved the rustic, earthy look of the limestone inspired trough underneath paired with the patterned tile. And the patterned tile reminds me of something that you would see in an old Spanish villa. And you'll notice throughout these gardens that most of them have fountains or water features to help add to the peaceful ambiance. Just that sound of running water can really help to engage the senses and add to the relaxing aesthetic. And some other details that I loved were the use of citrus trees in the landscaping, again adding to that Italian villa vibe. And then you walk over to this little courtyard, and again here we have these sweet little potted kumquat trees with some lavender penta blooms underneath. The pairing of the trees with the florals just has a very resort-like elevated feel, which I loved. Mike was really enjoying this one too, and it was fun because they had a master gardener on site that you could talk to ask questions, and we spoke to her for quite a while, picking her brain on desert landscaping. And something else that I was obsessed with at this property was the use of reclaimed brick. I loved how this added some warmth to the stucco, and I thought the combination of the stucco and then the brick on top would be cute on something like a set of raised planter beds. And this was actually old Chicago brick that was salvaged from old buildings in the Chicago area, and I love how they incorporated it into all of the walkways in this space. And while some classify herringbone as a trendy design choice, it actually was used to build roads in Roman era Greece for its structural integrity. So dates back to a long time ago, very classic, and I loved the added visual interest that the herringbone brick lay gives to this garden. And a key element in garden design is having points of interest to anchor the space. So I love that they broke up this long walkway with this gorgeous fountain feature, again to add that peaceful sound of running water to the backyard area. And also I loved how they framed it with some blooms and greenery underneath. And that's something that landscape designers do to soften a space, is they add plants along walls and borders. They also had this really beautiful upstairs area, and we had fun going up there and admiring the view of the pool down below. We also noticed that they incorporated another water feature with these fun Mediterranean style jugs with falling water into the pool. Just something to give the pool design a little bit of character, but not take away or distract from the stunning mountain views. And on the balcony, they added some greenery and visual interest with these large raised beds filled with sculptural agave and trailing rosemary. You could smell the rosemary as you walked past, and this was a garden that we both really enjoyed. I loved the mix of sculptural desert cacti mixed with the softer bushes and roughly defined borders. The white flowering border bush here is dwarf myrtle, and overall a gorgeous garden inspired by the Mediterranean. And this was our first garden of the day, and we knew this one would be hard to beat. So our next garden was coined the East Coast Inspiration, and this reminded me a lot of the houses that we saw when we were in Cape Cod. The whole garden was lined with rose bushes that just gave off that New England vibe, and then once we wandered into the backyard, we saw a pool design that looked very similar to ours. They had the 6 deck jets and the sun shelf on one side, the only difference being that theirs was of a much larger scale, and they had the full 6-foot sun shelf, and Mike was trying to see if he could place what pool finish they used. We believe this was French gray, but we weren't 100% sure. Overall, a simple yet beautiful pool design that acts as a center focal point for this garden. And again, we noticed some stunning potted kumquat trees with those gorgeous white floral blooms underneath to add some interest to the entrance of the patio area. And I also love this little console table moment with the striped cabana towels underneath. This could be just a cute idea for when you entertain out on the patio. And I loved admiring all of the mature orange trees that acted as a privacy hedge for the space. Also, it smelled so amazing walking through this area. The orange trees and the roses blowing in the wind was so peaceful, and they actually had a photo of the lot and the before photos when things were first planted back in 2019, and it was really neat to see how much things have matured in that time. Okay, so our next garden was called the Artist's Sanctuary, and this space was so inspiring and beautiful. I loved how whimsical it was, and there were lots of winding pathways, and the whole garden was covered in art and vines, and in a place like the desert, this truly was a little sanctuary. You can tell they created this beautiful microclimate with all of the shade and flora everywhere. I really loved how this table was just placed underneath the shade of this tree, and for all of these gardens, I wish so badly that we had smell-o-vision. Immediately when I walked into this area, you could just smell the jasmine vines that were trellised on this wall. And trellises are a great way to add interest and soften a boring blank wall without doing too much. I loved the little bits of color that were dispersed throughout the space with the blue accents and then all of this lovely art hanging from the tree. This garden was oozing with creativity, and I love how they blended the art with nature. For example, they had this super neat garden kaleidoscope where you spin this little planter and then watch all of the fun shapes that it makes through the kaleidoscope. I also loved the use of sculptures and mosaics acting as anchors throughout this garden, like here in the raised vegetable garden. I also always wondered what it would look like to do some raised beds with an organic stone detail, like here on these raised beds. So it was kind of cool to be able to see that in person. And I mean, could you just imagine coming out here to grab some veggies or cut flowers? It is such a beautiful, serene space that's filled with gorgeous, personal, creative details. I just thought this one was so fun to get to walk through. Okay, so next we have another one of my favorites, and this one was titled The Gardener's Paradise. And if I'm not mistaken, I believe that a lot of the design was done by the homeowner herself, and we got to speak with her briefly, and it was so cool because you could tell she put so much thought and creativity into the design of this garden. One of my favorite spaces was her side yard here, and there's this stunning European style fountain, and then a sweet little pathway that just leads you under these arched trellises over to her tomato plants. And this goes to show that you don't need a large space to achieve that oasis-like feel. The greenery and the fountain feature, along with the pathway that visually guides you through the space, creates such an inviting feel. And the main backyard area is equally as stunning. Again, I loved the pool design with the deck jets, and I also loved the chic black and white umbrellas in the sun deck area. And then in the back is more garden space. And I think that these garden arches are so effective in acting as an ornate showpiece, but also creating a whimsical atmosphere that acts as a visual experience as you get to wander underneath them. I loved getting to see all of the vegetables growing in the vegetable garden. I mean, this one truly had it all. Wandering pathways, wall trellises, and I also loved all of the lavender that was planted throughout this garden. We also loved the peaceful little fountain moment back here near the stone raised beds. I just loved the symmetry of the space with the bench in the back anchored with those gorgeous potted topiaries. This was such a peaceful spot, and we found all of these gardens to be so inspiring, and we were ready to get back home and start working on ours. Okay, so things are very much still a work in progress back here on this end of the patio. Got a lot of plants over here that I'm still kind of in limbo with what I want to do with them. But an idea that I had was I really loved how a lot of the patios that we saw on the garden tour had these beautiful, large potted citrus trees. You know, they had the beautiful potted kumquats and the olive trees and the lemons and the limes. And then they all had the beautiful base of flowers underneath. I just thought that looked really charming. So because we have these three pillars here, I thought it could be kind of cool to do a lemon and a lime tree at each pillar. So I think we're going to do a lemon down here because that gets the most sun, then a lime and a lime because we use a lot of limes in our cooking. So I thought it'd be cool to get some giant pots and then do a little rim of flowers around just to kind of dress it up and act as a covering and a mulch, and then have like a little lime orchard back here in pots. So I think that we're gonna go try to source some pots. I do have one lime tree that I've had for about a year now, and it's doing really well. So I think I'm going to repot this guy as one of the limes, and then I'll get another lemon, and then I'll get a lime. But you know, this has done really well in this pot. It's given us a ton of limes. We've already got, you know, some new lime buds on here. So hopefully the transport won't mess it up too much. But I thought that could be kind of cool to do today, especially since it's overcast. It could be a good day to do some planting. Okay, so the first step was finding the right planter, and I had seen these previously at a local nursery. They were imported from Europe, and I loved the look of them, but they were a little bit out of the budget. So we kept looking, and even though these were not that true terracotta material, they did have a very similar look for a fraction of the price. And I did start thinking about it a little bit more, and our patio stone is this color. So as much as I love the terracotta, I wanted to go with something that would have a slight contrast to our patio material. And I also loved these white handled planters, and I thought that they had some contrast. These looked very European, but I wanted something that had a little bit more of a natural tone to it, maybe like a stone-like material or something with more of a tan finish. So eventually I came across this large concrete planter, and I loved the classic look of it. We ended up getting 3 of these, one for each pillar, and I think the repetition of the same planter will just give off that resort-like feel. So we ended up grabbing those, and then when it came to picking out the trees, I found that it was kind of difficult to locate a dwarf variety. So the closest thing that I could find was this Lisbon semi-dwarf one. So I decided to go with that, and then for the other lime tree, I also found this Bear's semi-dwarf lime. And citrus trees need well-draining soils, so we probably would have been okay with a single drainage hole, but we decided to just go the extra mile and drill an additional 4 holes. Hopefully this should prevent root rot and allow everything to drain freely out of the planter. The only thing that was kind of weird was when we did this, it took off a little bit of the inside of the planter. Not sure why. We didn't think it was that big of a deal, but just FYI. And then we put each planter in place in front of each one of the patio pillars. And I also just wanted to make sure that we weren't damaging our patio by watering these planters on top of it. So I found these cute little ceramic planter legs. They were only $7 for a pack of 3, which ended up being a great deal. I was having a really hard time finding saucers that were large enough for these planters that matched. So this solution worked much better. It was a lot cheaper, and I think it really elevates the look of the planter. So even though they came in a pack of 3, I did do 4 legs per planter, and I just thought that looked a little bit more balanced. So once we got everything put in place, then I added in my specific cactus and citrus mixed soil. And I know a lot of people will fill the bottom of a big planter with water bottles and cardboard to save on soil, but I wanted to have the whole planter filled, so hopefully the roots can comfortably grow and use the entire planter years down the road. So first I figured I would repot the tree that I already had, and when in doubt, you can always look super glamorous like me and use your foot to hold down the planter while you pull the tree and roots out. So I got it in a position that I liked, and then I filled in the remaining area with more soil. And when you're backfilling like this, you want to make sure to leave at least a couple of inches, because if you fill it close to the top, you'll have no room for mulch, and then when you water your tree, it just makes a big mess because everything overflows. Ask me how I know this, but because it is nearing the time to fertilize, I decided to just go ahead and do this right now. So I added in my citrus fertilizer to give it a good start, and then I watered it in. And this was great because I got to see how well these little planter feet worked. It was nice because it started making a mess with all of that fertilizer water, but I was able to just rinse underneath the planter and get all of that washed away. So next it was time to pick out the florals that I wanted to plant underneath the tree, and because we are nearing the summer here in the Phoenix area, I knew that I needed to pick something that would hold up to the heat and also just have similar watering needs to the citrus trees. So the master gardener that we were talking to at the garden tour told us that Vinca would be a really good fit. And our garden centers had some different color choices. They had a purple, they had white, and then they had this pretty kind of like peachy color. And at first I didn't know if I wanted to do just a color or if I wanted to do a combination like a white and a pink or like a white and a lavender. I actually stood there at the garden center making this decision for way too long, and I was even trying to get a visual here with this tree, but ultimately I just decided on the white for now. I liked the soft look of it, and then if I maybe want to add some color, I can do that in the fall. So when it came to planting the Vinca, I just used this vintage wood potato strainer that I found at the antique store to make the holes, and this is definitely going to be a trial and error type thing. I'm not really sure if the flowers will compete for nutrients with the citrus trees, so hopefully this doesn't affect the fruit production, so I'm gonna have to monitor that. But after seeing all of those beautiful potted trees on the garden tour, I just wanted to try it for myself. So we're gonna see how it goes, and gardening is really just one big experiment, and learning from what does well and what doesn't is really just the nature of the whole thing. So thought it would be a fun thing to try and just add a beautiful visual to this patio. Another thing that I added into the planters were some oyas, and these are just little watering systems that are great for the hot Phoenix summers or just using while you're on vacation. Basically, you fill the oil with water and it slowly releases the water into the soil when the soil gets dry. So this is actually probably too small for this size of a planter, but I was just using what I had, so I might get some bigger ones down the line, but they really do help with watering here in the dry environment that we have. And that is it. I am so excited to see how these trees grow and produce over time. Hopefully we'll have a little citrus orchard right here on the patio, and it usually does take a couple of years for citrus trees to get going on their production, but it's little projects like this where you can kind of start to see the vision of the patio area coming to life. We still have so much work to do back here to make this space into the oasis that we envision, but I was really happy with how this little project turned out, and it was so fun to get some inspiration from the gorgeous gardens on the tour and then be able to bring that back home into my own backyard.
All right, everyone, that about wraps up this video. I hope that you guys enjoyed coming on these garden tours with me and then our fun little patio project. I hope you drew some inspiration no matter how big or small your outdoor space may be. And I just want to thank you guys so much for watching this video. Please don't forget to like it if you did. It really does help to support the channel. And make sure that you're subscribed so you don't miss my future home and decorating videos that I post every single week. You can hit the notification bell so you're notified when those videos go live. And again, I just want to thank you all for being here. I hope you have a wonderful week, and I will see you all in my next one. Bye!